for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee. His grace uncrowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Hello, Patriots. Welcome to my podcast. I appreciate you tuning in on this unscheduled day. Normally, we broadcast on 7 p.m. now every Thursday night, but due to the breaking news of the passing of Charlie Kirk, we're doing a special afternoon podcast here on Friday, September 12th, 2025. All right, let's make sure we're good to go before we get the show underway. All right. Let's see you guys in the, oops, I don't want to do that. I almost added somebody to the block list. Yeah, that was a good opening. It's not mine. Somebody cut that, added that music to it. Very good. I'm about to play. I'm going to watch it with you for the first time. I watched the first maybe 15 seconds and I stopped it. I'm going to play a video here in a moment. Apparently, there's a tribute video played shortly ago on the Charlie Kirk podcast, which is now broadcasting. I don't know if it's over yet or not, but I have the clip. I'm going to watch it with you for the first time. All right. And then we're going to get into a few things. All right. We're going to talk about some things. I want to address my emotional breakdown that I had and combine that with what has transpired in 48 hours. Okay. And then I'm going to take you inside my analytics on my Facebook page. I can take you to TikTok as well. I can take you to my X account as well. I'm going to show you something very amazing, absolutely amazing. So if anybody thinks right now that we're living in a, yes, it's hard, it's difficult. Charlie has passed, and we're coming to grips with that. Okay, this is the JFK assassination for this younger generation. What we just witnessed. I want to get into that. I want to talk about, of course, we're going to talk about the arrest of the shooter. And I can warn you guys right now, we're not going down a conspiracy theory rabbit hole. You know why we're not going down that rabbit hole? Because the enemy wants you to be distracted. But I will give my take on that. That should not be the focus. That shooter should not be our focus, even though I will speak about it. Okay? Plenty of people can go and waste their time and just denying and not being able to emotionally wrap your mind around it and not accepting what Kash Patel, not the previous FBI, Kash Patel, the man we've wanted, told you this morning. There's a bigger picture at play here. We are witnessing something magical, if not biblical. I can feel it in my bones. So before we go any further, okay, let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to watch this with you. All right. I'm going to watch this with you. I have not seen it, but apparently it's a tribute video played shortly ago, okay, to Charlie Kirk. So let me load it up. All right. So here we go. We're going to watch this together for the first time.
Hype the vanguard of the current thinking on the current debates into the zeitgeist, and to keep the base steady and keep the coalition together. So without further ado, I want to play the show tribute that our team put together. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't wait to watch it.
Neither
This is
have I.
443.
I want to thank my great friend, Charlie Kirk. He's done something that is just incredible for somebody really of his age. You need tremendous talent to do what he's done. Building one of the most powerful youth organizations ever created, Turning Point USA, and I want to thank you, really, Charlie. Incredible job.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
I have the greatest job in the world. I couldn't be happier. Every day I feel as if what I'm saying, what I'm doing is making a difference, giving people meaning.
Charlie, you should have a motion. This is a moment. You totally reformed the GOP, and look what you guys have done. I hear some words here from you, Charlie. You put all this together, my man. Let's hear it.
I am just humbled by God. God's grace. It's all God.
Amen.
It's all God. God alone. It's done.
It's done.
It's beginning. We did not earn this. This is God's mercy on our country.
Yes, you're on the Lord's side.
Last week, we welcomed our beautiful daughter into the world. Most important thing that one can do except giving your life to Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Erica and I and our family were celebrating the birth of our son.
I'm finding out how honest you are, Charlie, and so far I think you're doing good, and I hope I'm doing good with you.
Candace Owens, welcome back.
Yes, good to be back. I'm a Charlie Kirk show.
So, Megan, there's a lot happening right now, and I recently went on the Bill Maher show. I want to get your reaction. Matt, walk us through the decades-long journey from 2015 to today on the public opinion battle. Michael, why are people going back to church?
People are going back to church because the atheism ran out of steam.
Ben, thank you for taking the time. I was moved by your podcast on Monday about how we must stare the evil in the face. Pete, you're doing a phenomenal job. I just want to say that from the American people that you don't get the credit that you deserve, obviously, in the mainstream media.
We are here with Stephen K. Bannon.
Charlie, I never roll through this town without seeing you.
Well,
it's always the highlight.
That's the advantage of being in Phoenix, is that you're like one of the only shows in town, so everyone kind of just comes on by.
I'm sick of people stealing my stick.
Wait, so a campus thing I've been doing for 13 years to debate random college kids has now been so important that it gets prominent primetime placement on Comedy Central. I think the whole thing is just awesome. Bobby Kennedy, welcome back to the program.
Charlie, thanks for having me.
They canceled the president of the United States, the most powerful man in the world, when it was my father. If they can do that to him, they can do it to anyone. They can't do it if we're all banded together and we're fighting one battle.
Don Jr., everybody. Very special hour episode for you today. My wife joins us, Erica Kirk, the beautiful, legendary Erica.
I love you so much.
I love you.
You're my best friend.
Welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show.
Thanks, baby.
Was blind, but now I see.
Thanks so much for listening, everybody, and God bless.
Well, that's the first time I saw that. That was a powerful tribute to Charlie. First of all, as I was on the air reporting the breaking news, and it was a very emotional moment. I knew before I hit go live on my end, I knew what I was walking into. I realized this was a historic moment in American history. And I prayed for the ability to deliver the broadcast. I did realize, I can say this now, I did realize that there probably was going to come a moment during that broadcast that I would have to announce the passing of Charlie Kirk. When I was live on the air during that show on Wednesday, as I was playing a Fox News feed, I was gathering information in real time as I was on the air with you, and you guys were listening to Fox. I saw the close-up video of the bullet that Charlie took, and I wasn't going to announce it, but I knew right then and there when I saw that video. I haven't went back and looked at that broadcast yet. I usually never do that, but I knew live on the air my reaction, and however it was, I knew he was dead. Of course, I went on with the show. I couldn't announce it. I wouldn't announce it until we got official confirmation, which we did from the President of the United States. But I knew he was no longer with us when I was trying to do the show and bring you the latest information. So a lot took place, and then of course what you witnessed was very real and raw for me. The announcing of the passing of Charlie Kirk, and I can just say that what you saw from me, yes, was great sadness, of course. In the combination of feelings, also I knew what happened. Okay, I knew this was evil on the world stage. It was a moment of sorrow. It was a moment of understanding the big picture of what was happening in front of us. But believe it or not, in some sense, during that broadcast, I knew that God would have the last say in all of this. And we are witnessing that right now. So, one of the reasons that I'm doing this podcast this afternoon is for the simple fact that I was running on fumes yesterday. I could not do a podcast last night because I got no sleep the night before, wound up, etc. And I knew I couldn't deliver. So here we are today. We're going to go and do the, we're going to get to your comments and bring those on screen, etc. All right. I would like to, actually, you know what? We're going to do that right now. So we're going to do that right now as we get into things. So I'm going to bring these on the screen. And then we're going to get into, here's what we're going to get into. We're going to discuss what we heard this morning from the FBI. I'm going to discuss what is the governor's name again? Spencer Cox. I want to talk about the Utah governor, Spencer Cox. Who in the comments right now? Is anybody in my comments from Utah? What can you say about your governor over there? I have some things to say today. I have to admit, I'm not educated or researched enough to give like a take on Governor Cox to when it comes to his views and everything that's going on in Utah. You know, Utah is a place we're usually not talking about. But what do you guys in the comments? What do you guys think of your governor over there? I'd like to know that. Oh, you're very welcome, William. You're very welcome. He endorsed Trump. Okay. Someone says they don't trust him. Well, what politician do you trust? Well, I'll say this as you're bringing in the comments. What I witnessed today, love Governor Cox, a wise man and very well spoken. I thought he did an amazing job. And I thought for him to take time to address folks regarding about taking time off of social media was very good. All right. So whatever about him, is one thing, but I tip my hat to him. He did an amazing job today. It was professional. We came together. Right? Can you imagine if this happened in a blue state under the Biden administration? You would have got nothing like what we saw today. No words of wisdom, no words about healing and coming together and unifying. That's what I got out of that, which is amazing. We wouldn't have got that if it was the opposite. So right now, I think now is, and I said that right when the tragic news broke of Charlie Kirk, I know I said it somewhere. I think I posted it in regards to it's time for this country to unify. Okay. I saw a lot of emotions. Okay. And I understand, and I was willing to give grace. A lot of people are running on emotions. And I saw some comments coming from our side, if you will, kind of insinuating it's time to fight back. And I know we can talk about fighting back in so many ways. Okay. But some were really suggesting about let's take it to the streets type of fight back. And I think that's crazy. That's ridiculous. Look, if this was somebody MAGA assassinating someone on the other side, we'd have the cities be burning down right now. We all know that. When it comes to Republican conservatives, we don't do that. We don't riot. Okay. And why don't we do that? Simple. It's very simple. Because we have God in our lives. We know that is not the right thing to do. With our own spiritual wisdom and discernment, we know these things we don't do. And we know the battles that we're in. Right. And there's another thing too. Right there in your comments, Robert says, it's wonderful to have this community share our feelings with. Of course it is. Of course it is. It's very important for me when I come on the air, depending on the nature of the broadcast, the topic of the broadcast. This is about Charlie Kirk, obviously. And I've got to be careful. I'm always careful with talking about myself. I, me. But in some certain cases, I have to do that. Okay. And I'm going to do that now. But this has anything to do with ego or boasting. For those who follow me for a while now, if not years, if you're new, welcome to the show. I appreciate you. And speaking, if you're new, folks, I have something to show you here in a moment. I'm going to take you inside my analytics. You won't believe this. Okay. And there's a reason I'm taking you inside there. And the reason is this, because when I say I don't like talking about I, me, but in some cases I have to, like now, why do you think I come on here all the time, whether I'm live on the air or on my social media platforms? Okay. This is not some scheme. I always express my gratitude and the appreciation for your support and saying this is our community, because I know the secret. Having a grateful, humble heart and realizing you can't do this thing called life on your own. You have to do it together is the key to understanding. And I can't do that. Why do you think I come on here all the time? And I'm so transparent. I have people out there still trying their hardest, all right, to bring me down and bash me. But I come on here and you've heard my story. Well, you've only heard a snippet. You haven't heard the whole thing. But I'm so transparent about I come from a world where I've overcome darkness when it came to the world of addiction, drugs, and alcohol, and all that craziness that I went through. There's no way on earth that I can come on here and share some wisdom with you if I didn't really go through it. Okay, wisdom, that's an action word. And I do that all the time because I understand what real darkness is like. You understand out there what real darkness is like. How many of you who've experienced something so dark and you didn't think there was a way out, but you surrendered and you tried to trust? And then not only did you go on a spiritual journey, you were taught by your Father in heaven. Okay. I'm sorry, I got distracted by a comment there. But you were taught. Now, I just put up a post prior to coming on the air about Anna. When I love Anna Paulina Luna, don't get me wrong. I just happen to disagree, and it's okay. We can disagree. She wanted to take everything down off of Facebook, and she's doing it over there on Blue Sky, Blue Cry, I call it, the liberal platform. And I disagree with her. Okay, I think it. And what I was talking about that post, I was talking about all the comments that people are praising the death of Charlie Kirk. We've seen it. Most of you have seen it. If you're an avid X person or an avid TikTok person, you've seen the videos. They're appalling. They are disgusting. They are disturbing. Okay. Now, I disagree with taking those down. Being in the darkness and surrendering my life to God and gaining the wisdom I have, it was my Father in heaven who taught me. Okay. There comes a time when I said, I don't believe Anna Paulina should take that down. We should be censoring this. This evil needs to stay up. There are people who said, no, their children don't need to see it. Enough's enough. There comes a time we need to protect our children. And there also comes a time we need to not only protect our children, we need to prepare our children. So there's a difference right there. We live in an age where you can't hide this. Okay, unfortunately, they're going to grow up and they're going to see that video. There's no hiding it. It's terrible, and it's going to be up to Charlie's wife to prepare them for that in the future. But we need to prepare our children as well. We can no longer hide behind this, because look what evil has done. I truly believe, and I truly mean, that the hand of God is moving, like I posted, and he is using Charlie Kirk for his glory. Because I can tell you this, in the past, 48 hours now, I think it was about, what was it, 12:30, around noonish, 1 o'clock. This all happened 2 days ago, so about 48 hours ago. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Let me turn that off. About 48 hours ago, everything went down. I always have my phone off. I'm sorry. And we've seen so much vile hate come out, and people celebrating, etc. Like I said, I've had time to process everything. And I'm in a place right now where I truly believe, like I said, the hand of God is moving. We're starting to see a revival. And what I mean by that, in the past 48 hours, I have seen videos. If you're an avid TikTok person, go on there. All right. You're going to just get the algorithm. Once it gets going, it's going to feed you. I have seen people posting countless videos, younger people, the youth, because Charlie reached the youth of America, whether they agreed or disagreed with him. And I have seen them set aside the amplified part of the people who are praising this, the ones that are absolutely lost and possessed. A lot of people surrendered. Now, it may be stage one. Okay, stage one of surrendering. I'm done. The main comment was, I'm done with the left. I'm done with the Democratic Party. I'm going to the right. I've seen a lot of that. Okay. I've seen a lot of people who are on the other side saying, they don't agree. Murders, violence is not the answer, which is wonderful to see as well. Even if it's their beginning, if it's their first step to just say, I'm done with the Democratic Party. I want no more of this. And I'm going to vote Republican, etc. This has nothing to do with political party. That is just a stepping stone. That is a tool, if you will, for them to come over. But what they're going to do is, guess what they're going to do? All right. They're going to take time now, and they're going to do a deep dive on Charlie Kirk. These same people who didn't give the time of day to Charlie Kirk, they only saw the snippets, and they fed into the propaganda, Charlie bad, Charlie Nazi type thing. And they were one of those people. And now they're no longer one of those people. So now they're going to take time because they're completely disgusted and appalled and shocked of what they saw. And when they do a deep dive on Charlie, guess what's going to happen? It's bigger than being pro-life. It's bigger than being pro-gun. The message from Charlie Kirk was Jesus Christ is the answer. He was consistent. He never, ever wavered. And he always put first before the Charlie Kirk show, his podcast, his social media numbers. He always put God and family first. And he lived it. And he showed it by his actions. That is an example. And that will be the hand of God moving in this country right now. And it's doing it. And you're going to see a lot more of the youth come to the Lord, waking up. Hey, look. You know, I realize I'm taking a little heat. And I haven't addressed it. The whole Q thing and the shot heard around the world. First of all, I don't see the connection. I'm not going down that road with this podcast. My point is this. Just think outside the box. Just open your mind. Okay? The Bible. We were taught was written by God, but through man. Right? It was divinely inspired, if you will. Correct? Who wrote Q? You can go on my comments and say Donald Trump, this and that. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But who's to say? What if God's plan was to use man to write Q? And how do we know? How do we truly know that the phrase nothing can stop what is coming was just written by somebody on 4chan? Or was it divinely inspired? Is nothing can stop what is coming bigger than what we thought? Folks, I see the big picture. I've spent years. I've told you this. One of my biggest projects I've been working on, I had to put on the shelf for a long time, was my screenplay that I wrote about spiritual warfare. I am so excited about that film, but I've been so disappointed I had to put it on the shelf for a handful of years here. And the reason now I'm thoroughly convinced that God said, you can't go forward with this yet. I have something to show you. And we're seeing it right now. I truly hope that people are seeing this. There is a revival underway. I see it. It is upon us. The storm is upon us. Nothing can stop what is coming. Maybe it's bigger. Much bigger than we possibly could have imagined. Never underestimate the power of God. One of the things that Charlie did, he had the best format out there. The best format out there. What he did. He went into the lion's den on these college campuses. He traveled to all these universities. He set up a tent, a couple microphones, his microphone, and an open mic. It was open mic night when he went to the universities. He didn't shove it down anybody's throat. He said, if you have something to say, come to the microphone. Let's have a debate. Let's have a discussion. I have tried that over the years on my social media platforms. I have literally gone out of my way. I remember clearly, I have invited people who went lunatic crazy onto my show. I said, come on my show. You're on the other side. I'd love to have that. I would love to do what Charlie did and have a discussion with somebody who disagrees. Because that's the answer. Is dialogue is the answer, not violence. Charlie was shot and killed. Well, I'm going to get deeper into that. Charlie was shot and killed because of they were afraid to debate him. Okay. He was shot and killed because of the truth. Okay. Think of that movie with A Few Good Men, Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. Man, I thought I've been thinking about that scene for 48 hours. I mean, that's literally, I picture Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth to evil right now. So they have to resort to violence. I gotta stop the show. Hey Bruce, when are you going to start touring? I'd pay good money down here in Tampa to see you at an arena. That's not gonna happen. Well, I never say never. You had a chance. I toured for a long time. I spoke for a number of years, and I toured. I toured church basements for many years, and I gave my testimony, which is called Your Lead, in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous for a long, long time. I'll always gladly boast about that because I know, and Charlie knew, he understood it. Now, Charlie maybe never had to go through the things I had to go through because I'm hard-headed and I had to test the waters of darkness before I was graced and made a decision to come to the Lord. I was always jealous of a Charlie Kirk type of person. No, that's the truth. I was always jealous. Has nothing to do with news or politics. I was jealous that somebody like a Charlie Kirk came to the Lord so young without going through the hell like I had to go through. I'm like, why is that? Why couldn't I have gotten that a long time ago? I had to go through torture myself. But I'm grateful today for everything that I've gone through. Would I want to go through it again? No. But I'm grateful because it's a teaching in life. It's wisdom that I have gained. And Charlie had that. And Charlie went out of those campuses with those 2 microphones and he had dialogue. Okay. And this is what we've been trying to do for a long time. We have to get back to the table. We have to sit down and have open mic dialogue. And Charlie was the one who did that. Now, you saw plenty of videos over the years and the clips of Charlie Kirk that would get amplified were always the ones where the crazy lunatic college kids from the left who are completely indoctrinated and filled with hate would come to the microphone and try to challenge Charlie. Charlie, with God on his side and the wisdom that he had and the confidence, the God confidence, not cockiness, not ego, not boastful, but his God confidence that Charlie walked with. All right. He was always able to put those folks pretty much in their place. And I don't want to say it like that because I don't want to think that was his goal to embarrass somebody. But his goal was to, you're wrong. It wasn't that I know Charlie wasn't going to do that. Like, I'm Charlie Kirk and I'm right. No. He was just out there giving the truth. He was a truth teller and he went into the lion's den. And unfortunately, we all saw what happened 2 days ago. And evil had enough of Charlie Kirk. They've had enough of Charlie Kirk. But God Almighty has said, I'll take it from here. My faithful servant, I'll take it from here. And God is moving right now. I'm seeing it. There is a revival on the horizon. It's very exciting. This is much bigger than politicians in Washington, D.C. I have come on here too, and I've said I don't believe this is the end times. I know a lot of people out there on social media land are saying it's the end times. Get ready. I said it, and I'm still sticking to my guns. I don't believe that. Now, I believe this could be the birthing pains. I get it, because a lot has happened that people go, wait a minute, we go right to Revelations. Look what we've seen over the past 4 years. All right, it's here. It's the end times. And I'm not disrespecting you for that. I can only listen to what's inside of me telling me this is not it. But what we are witnessing, Satan's going to retreat. And I think that's on the horizon. Evil's never going to go away. But Satan will go dormant again. And there will come a time in another generation where Satan comes out guns blazing like he has recently over the years. But I think we're witnessing a time where God is going to, almost like a Noah moment in the flood, to cleanse the land. And that's what I think we're going through right now. So again, I don't believe, of course I'm prepared, if the rapture comes, I know where I'm going. Charlie was very confident. You can go and look. There's plenty of videos of Charlie saying he knows exactly where he's going when he dies. And he had that God confidence too. And I hope you have that God confidence as well. I certainly do. Look, I posted yesterday. I'm getting death threats. It's certainly not from the Jews. I can tell you that much, because I have a bunch of them in my messenger. Happens to be coming from one radical party, or ideology, I should say. A certain religion doesn't like Charlie Kirk very much. But yeah, I'm getting death. I've had them in the past too, but they amplified. So here's the thing. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's do this. I'm going to take you through something here. Let's go to my Facebook page. I want to show you guys something. All right. This particular Facebook page of mine that I'm on. Now, all of you know that I work very hard. I'm probably one of the most censored people on Facebook. This is my 92nd account. The account was passed to me by somebody else, and it really had, it was an account that really didn't get traction or anything like that. I picked up on this account back in March, so just this past March of 2025. And I pay attention to things because obviously I have plans. Like Charlie Kirk has Turning Point. Okay, I have MindFix Entertainment. That's a legal name. It's MindFix Entertainment, MindFix TV for short on the internet. And I have plans, not necessarily like Charlie, but I have plans for MindFix Entertainment to put out content, to put out truthful news, to put out content, to put out film that is worthy of God. Put it that way. I'm not one who believes in. I don't like fluffy faith-based films. My friends who follow me for a long time, they're those who in the industry, the film industry, from the faith-based film industry, know that too. That I've been real adamant about this fluffy faith-based film stuff. I don't like it. It needs to be real, raw, and authentic, because you know what? And I've said that time and time again. And the reason I said it, because it doesn't reach people. You can go on Pureflix. I'm not knocking Pureflix, okay? But there's so much fluff on there. It's like you're not going to get the attention of the people who really need it. I think the Mel Gibson's movie, okay, The Passion of the Christ, that was good. That was real. It was raw and authentic. And you saw a revival from that movie. You saw people giving their life to Christ in the theater back then. I've seen people who turned themselves in for murder after that movie because they didn't want to carry the weight anymore. They wanted to surrender. And I've always been like that. And that's why I said, Anna Paulina, I love her. I appreciate her, but I disagree with her on this one. Don't censor this content that's out there. Keep it out there. It's despicable. It is disgusting, but it must be seen. The world has to see this. And as a direct result, in the past 48 hours, people are seeing it and they are disgusted, and they're leaving that party, and some are turning to God. I'm not going to sit around. I'm not going to sit on here online and start turning people in. I want nothing to do with that. You know, if there's threats out there, turn them in. Obviously, if anybody's threatening the life of somebody, these lunatics, the FBI's got this. They know what's going on out here. We have control now. But this needs to be seen. And it's being reached far and wide. Now I want to show you an amazing thing. Like I was saying, I'm an analytics guy. I have a business plan, obviously. I knew 2025 would come. It would be probably third quarter, which we're in, we're in 2025. That me and my other partner that you never see, we kind of planned that. We knew that the right time to move forward and risk everything and to implement the things that we want to do and go for would be around this time right now. All right. So let me show you something here. And this reason I show you something is because I want to show you the hand of God. All right. Screen share. Okay, there I am. Okay, so here's my Facebook page right there, right? So I'm on the professional mode. Let's go into the professional mode together. You guys see that? Okay. Look at that. That's to date. Okay. Now, actually comes up to last 28 days. See y'all. Almost 21 million views. Now, let's go to this past 7 days. 14, rounded up, 14 million views. And that is a direct result of the past 48 hours on my page, reaching 14 million views. Is this about me and Bruce and boasting? Of course not. I'm on the same wavelength as Charlie Kirk. I always have been. This ain't new. I'm not riding his coattails. I've been talking about, putting God first, trusting and all that for a long time. This is a reach. I am reaching farther and wider right now. You know why that is? Because God took a no good bum like me out of the gutter, transformed me, remolded me, and put me out here to do the work of the Lord. As long as I keep Bruce out of the way and I keep God first, God will open a door for you. I have preached about this for a long time. Stop underestimating the power of God. He will open the door for you. Especially when you have a message and you're carrying the torch. He'll give you the platform. He'll give you the audience. Christ himself said it in the Bible, how we'll have the ability basically to reach far and wide. Have a bigger platform. That's 14 million views within 7 days, and most of that's contributed to. I was averaging 400,000 views a day. But then this, of course, it's going to go down. I get it. I understand how this works. But he's opened the door again. And the point of this being is, look what Charlie Kirk has done with his platform. He's not leaving this world in vain. He left this world, and God's going to glorify him. You guys are responsible for that because you stuck around. You trusted me in my news reporting, and you shared it. You clicked on it, and it's reaching far and wide. That is exactly why I will never, ever, ever be silent when it comes to the most important red pill, newsworthy message that there is, and that God comes first. God is the all-powerful. People are talking about mental health, all this medication, and they're probably having it right now. In internet land, they're probably having it right now. And they're talking, let me guess, they're talking about the shooter. They're talking about the shooter, and they're talking about over-medicated, all these psych meds, we need more mental institutions, etc. Some of that is good. Don't get me wrong. I agree with that. All right. But the big answer is, you want to do something else? Open up more church buildings, open up more places where we can worship, come together. Where we go one, we go all. Welcome people in with open, loving arms. One of the greatest, and I boast about this one of the greatest anonymous groups on the face of the earth is Alcoholics Anonymous. They welcome you in with open arms. You come in off the street, beat the hell. You've broken the law. You've ruined your life. The devil spit you out several times. And you come into this room and people welcome you with love. Have a seat. Let us help you. Let us guide the way. That is the answer to it all. We need to come together. And Charlie Kirk has left an incredible example for all of us to pick up the work, to deliver the message. All right. So if we go to, actually, you know what? We'll do that again. Let's go back to my Facebook page and we'll play some clips. We'll get into this whole thing with the FBI. Okay. Oop. Gotta do this again. Okay. Are we on there? All right, there I am. All right, so let's go. Let's see here. What do we got? Okay, so here's a clip from it. Breaking Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson made plans for retrieval of a rifle from a drop point, engraved bullets, etc. So, you know what? That's a 3-minute clip. Let's go to the short one I just saw. Let's go to this one. Listen.
Engraved on casings that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are...
Okay, so you have that right there. All right, so I'm sure a lot of people right now, I'm taking a guess, I'm sure a lot of people right now, because a lot of people are probably thinking of JFK and years of not knowing answers. I posted earlier about why did he do this? Okay. I'll show you why. I'll show you exactly why. This is why. James Wood, this is from James Woods. I put James Wood's name. To Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel put out apparently last night or something, it looks like. I don't watch Kimmel. I only happen to see these because they trend online. It says it was your unrelenting hatred of conservative Americans that put Charlie Kirk in his grave, Kimmel. You called us fascists until somebody believed you enough to kill a man better than you'll ever be. How dare you even say his name? Now listen, I want you to listen to this. If you haven't heard it, if you heard it, we're going to listen to it again.
We're still trying to wrap our heads around the senseless murder of the popular podcaster and conservative activist Charlie Kirk yesterday, whose death has amplified our anger, our differences. And I've seen a lot of extraordinarily vile responses to this from both sides of the political spectrum. Some people are cheering this, which is something I won't ever understand. We had another school shooting yesterday in Colorado, the 100th one of the year. And with all these terrible things happening, you would think that our president will at least make an attempt to bring us together. But he didn't. President Obama did. President Biden did. Presidents Bush and Clinton did. President Trump did not. Instead, he blamed Democrats for their rhetoric.
Okay. So what did we just hear? All right. He had an opportunity on the on national TV to bring people together, but his hatred couldn't resist having to throw in Donald Trump into that and blaming Donald Trump. This is exactly why Charlie Kirk is no longer with us. It is the propaganda from the mainstream media. This is exactly why you're going to see a lot of stories about this Tyler Robinson unfolding. I've seen it before I came on the air, connections to idolizing Antifa on Discord or something like that. Of course, I'll look into that later. I can sit here and spend all my time trying to do a deep dive into this kid, etc. I'll do a little bit because I'm interested. But I'm not going to waste my time on, conspiracy theories, etc. All right. Now, people are going to say, well, we need to research. We need to think for ourselves. That's true. That is absolutely true. And we need the truth. All right. But if you're looking at the big picture, what I'm talking about, don't allow the devil to distract you. Focus on the big picture. Charlie Kirk leaving this world and God glorifying it. There is a lot happening right now. Don't get distracted with the evil and being led down a rabbit hole that's going to suck you dry emotionally. Okay? Yesterday, for example, I got a little, not mean at all, but I know myself. I got a little short with people in my messenger. I'm like, that's it. I can't go on by the way, my messenger's loaded. I get to you. I do. No disrespect. But I'm like, and I had no sleep. I'm like, this is bad, Bruce. I'm like, you better stay off the air. It's not good. Get some sleep. I'm well rested, to say the least, and I'm very confident in what I'm saying here this afternoon on this microphone. Again, stay focused on that. I don't know. We'll do it now. I am willing to do it right now live on the show. I want to hear from you in the comment section. We're streaming to Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube right now. So I'd be more than happy right now, so I can pretty much get it out of the way. Let's entertain your thoughts, okay, when it comes to this kid and the shooter. I can only give an early preview, early analysis, and an early opinion of the little bit that I have seen. I'll probably be able to do it, better in the coming days, which I probably will. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, and I'm not going to focus on it. Right now, that kid's got bigger problems. He's got to answer to God. Okay. Yes. Somebody asking what you can always watch these live streams. My live streams never go away, and you can rewatch them on Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook. I keep Facebook up as well, and I appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much. Again, thank you very much for your amazing support. Okay, and it's just very humbling, and I appreciate it. But I'm not going to focus that much time on it. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Okay. How are you feeling about the announcement? I know some of you are going to say that's not the shooter. That's not the kid. He couldn't have shot that rifle. I don't know anything about him for me to give an opinion on it. I have no idea if maybe the kid was skilled in shooting. Okay, I don't know. Yes, we can easily say he was a patsy. We could talk about MK Ultra. We could talk about many things. Okay, but here's the thing: normal kid. No, that's not true. Somebody says normal kid upbringing until college. What I understand, he didn't go. He got accepted, but he apparently he never went through the college process. I think it was the first quarter of the school year. Maybe he put his foot in, but he got out. He dropped out or something. So he didn't have really any time in college at all. All right. This kid was indoctrinated online. Okay. And I'm not taking anything away. I've said it for years. When Trump comes in, we have to start with the colleges. We have to just pull the rug out from underneath the universities, and these younger professors who are indoctrinating the children. Yes, I agree about the colleges that way. But this kid was not indoctrinated, in my opinion, online, also through the propaganda, the headlines. Okay, you heard about was it on the bullet or whatever he said? Okay, he said something about take this fascist, as in here comes a bullet for you. Okay, that is indoctrination. And in the big grand scheme of things, that is the devil. There's a CBS show that I like any show that comes out when it's done properly, because I'm interested because of the film I'm writing and wrote, but there's a rewrite when it comes to spiritual warfare and things like that. There's a CBS show called Evil, and it has a few seasons. I have watched it from beginning to end. Okay. There is an episode on Evil of exactly what we just witnessed. Same MO, same body type kid. Okay. Same look, same radicalization. And the character playing the so-called devil on the show, all right, helped to indoctrinate him. And he played a part where he coddled him. He encouraged him. He said how people kept him down. And then he slowly manipulated and groomed him into picking up a gun and then finally going to go on a shooting spree. It ended differently. I won't give it away. But there's a couple episode on the show Evil that is exactly about what we just saw. And that's the big picture. Okay. I've always believed that that Satan himself will use the media, social media, etc., the news, the mainstream media, to manipulate and warp the minds of an entire generation. He is the author of confusion. He's working through people like Jimmy Kimmel and all those talking heads on CNN and MSNBC, because he's the one pulling the strings. And he's using them to accomplish his evil acts. All right. I don't know. Somebody says, I don't know anything about this. The bullhorn guy. I've seen things. I haven't had time to look into it, that he's confronted Charlie before. I don't know. Okay. So I'm not sure. I'd like to find out. If that's the case and you know more about that, Becky, send it to my messenger, please, with some links. I'd like to take a look. Okay. Going to your comments, Nancy says, I know several young people that could have made that shot. Correct. We don't know. I really don't know. I don't have the answer for that. What I do know is when I said why he did it is what I just expressed. Mainstream media propaganda headlines throughout social media, TikTok videos that put hate out there in the world. What's this here? They've got Discord messages, which is why the feds are trying to get it. Just odd wore a Trump Halloween. I saw the Trump Halloween costume before I came on the air. He was baffled himself, but is that the setup of a conservative taking him out? Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Watch Charlie's Bullhorn Guy video from April. Yeah, if you could send me a link, that'd be great. It helps me out a great deal. So I don't have to go searching. Bruce, can we say thank you to his dad for doing the right thing? It can't be easy to turn in your own son. I can't imagine if this is the case, and it seems to be the case that his father did turn him in. And not only did his father turn him in, he knows that he was marching his son into death row. You know, I can't imagine. I just can't imagine. I've seen pictures of the family. I saw the mom. I saw the dad. They look like a very nice, normal family. And they're probably just completely devastated. And not, you got to understand, not only did Satan, but God's going to use Charlie for his glory. Not only did Satan was the author behind taking away Charlie, he was the author behind taking away this kid's life, and he was the author behind in destroying an entire family, 2 families. Okay, so that one bullet destroyed so many people. That's what I heard too. I heard yesterday when we were talking before he was announced arrested, a lot of hunters were coming out, and I was watching it on TikTok. A lot of hunters were saying, look, if you're a good hunter, all right, you know how these kill shots work. So I'm not a hunter, okay? But appreciate that, Becky. I see that. Yeah, so that's a possibility. Yeah. I've read the Screw Tape Letters. What else we got here? Yes, his family loses too. Correct. Let me see what else I got. I made a couple notes before it came on. I pretty much covered everything. I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to check what's going on with the news, because a lot's happening right now, picking this time slot for 1 p.m. on Friday on such another busy news day. Let me see if anything's happening before we move forward. Yeah. Oh, I'd like to address a couple things for you. Look, all right, and I'll say this now. For example, I don't know how it is, but I can see fake scams all the time. And here's the crazy thing. First of all, the one that I put out earlier today, people are saying they're putting a picture of a celebrity or a sports figure saying they've offered to donate to Charlie Kirk's family, pay for their education, etc. It's a scam. Unless, I'm sure some are. I don't know who they are, but I noticed a lot picking up on it, and they're doing it for clicks, etc. Probably enough to coax you into donating something for the real vulnerable. That's a scam. But the one that was going around yesterday that was flooding social media and flooded my messenger was the book on Amazon. The same thing happened when the fires in Hawaii happened. You guys remember that? There was a book that came out too, and people were like, how did they know the fires in Hawaii were going to happen? They published it the day before. This happens all the time. People they know how this works. On Amazon, I posted a printout for you on my social media, and it gives you details how that works. Okay. You can manipulate that and change that publishing date, go in and rechange the title and even the cover photo. And it does. I know a certain person out there with certain numbers who thinks he's God's almighty gift to humankind, to humanity, and thinks he's right about everything and he knows it all. And I know a lot of you follow him. God only knows why. And he belittles the crap out of you. This person put that out there, okay? Part of it was right. It does take a few days to upload into Amazon, the Kindle, but there's a way to manipulate it, having a prior book, if you will, changing a date and replacing that. I put it all on my social media. It's a scam. There is no psychic. There is no conspiracy theory. There is no inside thing. All right. So stay away from that kind of stuff. That's terrible. And look, I'm taking shit. All right. Right now. In several areas. One, I take crap. I take crap when I put something out like that for you to shoot down the theory that what you're sharing is bullshit. And guess what happens? Only from some. Some of you get mad at me for showing you the truth because now you feel bad probably because you shared it. That's the truth. I've taken crap for shooting down these theories. I don't understand why that happens. No, I love y'all. We can agree to disagree. But look, man, I mean, don't go running. Just say, okay, hey, you know what? Big deal. I can come on here anytime and say, you know what? I was wrong. I've said it before. I'll say I was wrong. Just like right now, somebody's giving me crap about, a couple people are giving me crap about, why aren't you posting the Q? You post Q all the time. I don't see it. You're being manipulated right now, and you're not using the Q drops properly, in my opinion. Charlie Kirk's death. Now I'll come on this show. I'll say I was wrong. You were right. But right now, you witnessed a real execution, assassination on the world stage. Charlie is no longer with us. Has it ever occurred to you? Think about this. Has it ever occurred to you that the deep state follows the Q drops? Has it ever occurred to you that, wait a minute, they know how much you put into these Q drops? They see it out there all the time. They see you're sharing posts and comments. Do you really think that they're not going to use that against us? What if there is something bigger behind this kid? A bigger entity than just some crazy kid? Knowing this particular date, we're going to do that because if he does it that day, it's going to match on that day to a boom post and the shot heard around the world. I think the shot heard around the world was Trump's. That connected. That made sense. But why not use it against us and use a patsy and then have everybody saying, oh, you know, it's fake and all this stuff? You have to think about those things, folks. I guarantee you they're using those Q drops against us as well. I've known that for years. And I'm like, I got to be super careful. That's why I'm super careful about always putting Q drops out. I only do it every once in a while. Okay. And the ones I usually put out are comms to probably look forward to some news coming type of thing. I know what connected that day. I know the hoorah. Okay. And the buckle up connected. I know the president of El Salvador this week posted buckle up a few days ago. I know that. And I know people are out there trying to say it's a Q thing. Charlie's alive. All right. But what I witnessed was very real. And this is why I'm not going down that road. I refuse to. And I'll be more than happy to come on here and say, and if that's you were right, I'll come on here and say you were right. I was wrong. Because I don't care about that. You know, I like saying I was wrong because that keeps me humble. I don't have the answers. I'm not some guy who comes on here and boasts. You know, I follow, and I have for years. I follow in Charlie Kirk's footsteps. I have lived my life that way for years. I walk that walk. We need to be an example. We need to be a light for God, a light for Christ. Something's happening on the world landscape right now. I feel it. I truly feel it. This is bigger than just waiting for our elected officials and the people who are in the FBI and the DOJ to go and arrest these folks. Sure, we want that. I know I want that. People need to be held accountable. But I really think this is bigger than we can imagine. So I'm perfectly fine with that. Look, people can say whatever they want about me and stuff. I got bigger problems. I got people threatening my life. I'm laughing because, look, I'll be honest with you. I know I love you guys. I appreciate you. You know, everybody say call the authorities. I called nobody. All right. And I don't roll like that. I had somebody in the family say, should we call the authorities? No. For the most part, these are people hiding behind a keyboard, and they're trying to rattle me, Satan, and scare me, scare tactics. All right. And I'm not going to fall for that. I am exactly what Charlie Kirk talked about. I'm not afraid. I know where I'm going next. It's been almost 4 years since my wife passed away. I have nothing to lose anymore. I'm perfectly grounded. I'm on the right track. Things are opening up for me, the floodgates. I'm not going to throw this away. If I put fear into this right now, God's going to say, what are you doing? After everything I've taken you through and prepared you for, now you're going to be fearful? Walking on water, putting his hand out to me to walk with him. That's how I walk my walk. I trust, I believe, and that's all that matters to me. Stay grounded, stay spiritually rooted. Do not waver, do not be afraid. Do not worry. You're going to follow who you want to follow. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'll never do that. I rather live by example. You can follow who you want to follow. But I can tell you this much. There are people out there who are really good at manipulating you using intelligent words, drawn out lengthy descriptions, combining them with things that are fact, and stringing you along for a ride. See, I know this, and that's why I want no part of any of that stuff. Okay. I don't spend any time on other people or their platforms. I stumble upon them or I see it because folks send it to me, but I don't ever go on other people's platforms like that. The only platforms I really go on are people who are reporting news that I look up to and I know are credible. That's pretty much my entire day being online when I'm looking at other people's pages on social media. Most of it's coming from X and Telegram. I don't get any information from Facebook, except knowing I put out information. All right. So again, let me check real quick. Okay, so news just came across the wire. Tyler Robinson is expected to be officially charged on Tuesday. Okay, which will probably be. I would assume they're going to go for the death penalty. They've already said that for the most part. Okay. I'm going to play this one. Hold on. Oh, no, I'm not going to play that one. Somebody screwed that video up. It was the final words. I'll find that and I'll post it to social media. The final words of Kash Patel when he said goodbye to Charlie Kirk. I posted those words. I didn't post a video clip. That was pretty good. And you could see Kash Patel is definitely hurting. One of many people who knew Charlie very well. Okay, let's go to Q&A. Let's do it. I need it. Come on, let's do it. Let's go to Q&A. I spoke about it. Oh, sorry about that. Let's ask. Be more than glad to. I want that. Let's talk. Let's do what Charlie did. Let's have dialogue, even though I know you're not the enemy. You're not the one that's. I don't even say enemy. You're not lost at all. So give it to me, guys. Let's talk about the shooter. Let's talk about anything you want. Biblical. I don't care. Let's do it. We have a few more minutes here before I get off the air. And you're very welcome. Very welcome. And just know, I'll say this again, folks, if you're new here, you're going to see a lot of people who thank me. All right? That doesn't go to my head. All the credit. And when you see people thanking me and calling me I'm the real source for news and a truth teller, that is all from God. That is me staying on a path and trusting God. I don't deserve that credit. I can answer this question. Will the Steelers be better than the Browns this year? Look at our first game. I'm from Cleveland. Enough said. We can't even get somebody to kick the ball. Oh, it's embarrassing. What was the deal with the first arrest of the older guy? I don't even know. Truth be told, all I know is he was arrested. I don't know what it was. I didn't put any more time into it because he was released and cleared. So probably just something that happened in the chaos that they assumed. They were taking no chances. Poor guy. Then feel bad for him at this point. People wanted to do very bad things. Oh, that's nice. See, we just know that we flood your messages because we respect your insight. And I appreciate that. And my messages are flooded. Boy, I mean, they're out there. And again, if you're listening, don't ever find it disrespectful that I don't reply back. It's just overwhelming. It's usually because you're sending me stuff, I go look at it, etc. when I make time. But if I don't reply back, that is not me being a jerk or condescending in any way. It's just a lot. God has given me quite a bit, and I'm okay with that. I appreciate that. I try to, though. I try to at least give a thumbs up. Right, exactly. Thank you. Well, maybe we all strive to live like Charlie. He left us an amazing example. A young life to, only the good die young. Remember that? I truly believe that Charlie Kirk, I said it, I believe by his recent appearances more and more on mainstream news like Fox News, I thought, okay, we're getting in. Charlie's 31. The time he's 35, I think he might want to start. He's probably grooming or preparing us for a run in politics. It's obvious he had the charisma enough to go all the way to the top and be president one day. But obviously that's not going to happen. And now it's going to backfire because God is using him for his glory. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I saw that. Some videos you got to be careful about out there. What about the kid cheering when it happened? He was right up front. Do you think they questioned that kid? Again, I'd have to go back and look. Sometimes things are misinterpreted. Maybe he really didn't see that happen. I'm not making any excuses. I don't know. I didn't give it enough time. I saw it in passing. Maybe he was cheering or laughing about something else or assuming the wrong thing. I don't know. I got a question. I know what Charlie did, but a lot of hate questions regarding why the president has advised federal buildings to go at half staff or a podcaster. Has this ever been done before for influencers? Look, one, I don't know, but Charlie was bigger than that, and there's nothing wrong with going lowering the flag. We've done that before for people who weren't in politics. We've done that for school shootings, etc. So if you're getting hate, here we are. Everything we talk about on the show, these are the demons. All right. Again, I don't think anybody should be out there engaging in this climate, this battlefield, engaging in hateful rhetoric and trying to change these demons' minds. It's going to take an event, not your social media comment, to try and sway somebody. That usually never works. It's going to take an event, a big event, to sway somebody, like, unfortunately, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which has swayed many people and made them change their minds. That's what I'm talking about. I have Dorian says, I have two nieces posting. They were offended that we are so sorrowful at Charlie's passing. When so many kids are dying, they felt he got what he deserved. I fell into the trap of going off on them. It's so hard to understand their needs. Yeah, that's got to be real difficult. You know, I can only use my own particular story. There was a time when I thought I was prideful and boastful and I knew everything. And it had nothing to do with news. But then I went through a hell with addiction and darkness, and thank God I survived. And it's humbled me, and it's changed me. It's life altering, and now I have an understanding. And unfortunately, that's what it's going to take for some people. I'm not saying drugs or alcohol, but it's going to take something probably pretty dark and tragic for them to wake up. Sometimes our words they're not enough, and they have to experience it. I was one of those people that I've been graced and fortunate enough that I was able to wake up. I'm not talking about news or conspiracy theories. I'm talking about waking up to God had more in store for me, and I was destroying myself and killing myself, and he was trying to get my attention to stop. Otherwise, it's going to be too late. And I could tell you this too. The people along the way into my darkness that I hurt, the bridges I burned, the people that cried for me day in and day out. Now I have, some of them have passed, but I have a great relationship with them. There's no more animosity. I know where I was wrong, etc. With the grace of God, they'll come around and they'll wake up one day. I'll keep you in my prayers. So without getting into this, but I'll address it. There was some saying Charlie's stance on Israel was changing lately. I know nothing of it, but have you heard that? Look, I heard that too. I don't know what it was exactly. Okay. I don't know, but here's what I could tell you. I don't see that. I see a lot besides the lunatics out there. I can open up my messenger. I've already showed you some. There is a certain ideology, and it's not the Jews who are attacking Charlie Kirk. And that ideology is very hateful, and they're boasting, calling him a pig and threatening me with death when it comes to my messenger. Okay? Because they believe the stance on Israel went against their ideology. You know what I'm talking about. Don't even have to say it. I already addressed that. Shot heard around the world. No, it's not. And like I said, if I'm wrong, I'll be glad to admit it. I don't see it. I have a coworker that absolutely states that Charlie was racist. Well, so is Donald Trump, right? He said he heard him say on his own show that if a black man was piloting the plane he was on, he wouldn't fly. Now, I don't know anything about that. That sounds absurd to me. I've heard Charlie in the past talk about black and white issues, but comparing them, like I did at the beginning of the show, what if this happened in a blue state and it was under the Biden administration? If you have it, I'd like to see it. That I have a hard time believing. There has to be something left off of that right there. I don't see Charlie doing that. I don't know nothing about that. Let's see. Right. That had to be a diced and sliced clip. You can, these short videos that are put out there too. Look, the short videos in the phone length 916, they're so short. It's designed that way because people have a short attention span. Okay, and that's why people scroll all the time. People have a short attention span, and they can easily just hear what they want to hear. They cherry pick what they want to hear. Yeah, that's true. Certain influencers are a threat to certain factions. If you get too big and you're against their narrative, they will try and bring you down. Correct. Absolutely. Yeah, I think Netanyahu, if that's who you're talking about, since we're talking Jewish and talking Israel, didn't the PM issue a statement of sorrow? He did. And I seen it, if I'm not mistaken, and he did shift blame to that other ideology. I don't even want to say it. Okay. So Wanda says, back to that Charlie Kirk's comment about the airplane pilot and being black. Wanda says she apparently knows about it. It was out of context. He was talking about DEI. There you go. So obviously it must have been, let me guess, I'm saying maybe the pilot was black, but he was trained under a DEI program. So they cherry picked the word black and connected it to Charlie is a racist, when he was probably talking exactly what Wanda was talking about, DEI. Yeah, I'd be a little concerned too. Right, there you go. DEI hire. You're very welcome. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up here. This is the end of the show for the Friday afternoon. I'd like to go ahead and get back to work and start posting. I say back to work, and I'm working right now. But if you'd like to support my work, you can do so. You can do this. If you want, you guys know the link. My links are attached to all my social media platforms. Your support helps a great deal. Okay. I do have a monthly overhead on all the podcast platform, this platform. I pay Rumble. I pay a lot of stuff. And I'd like to meet those costs on a monthly basis with your help and support. Okay. I'd like to pose one question now, real quick. I had a lot of people who would like to, and I've always said it, I've shot people down all the time when I put out my donation link. Okay. I always say you're always going to get the news for free. You don't have to donate. A lot of people would message me and saying they can't open it up. They can't support me, and they would message me and say, I wish I could. Or somebody would say, I'd like to send you just $5 or $10. I'm like, but I'm strapped. And I'd always tell them, no, don't do it. You know, I just don't believe in that. But so you just saw I opened up my Facebook, and I've had it for a couple of weeks now. I haven't launched it. But if for those of you who are in that position, would you be willing to support me for like $5 a month? Would that something that would interest you? Because I've been offered that I can use the subscription button now on Facebook, and I haven't launched it, but I thought it would be an alternative to people. And I thought about going for it was $4.99 a month just to support my work. So if that's something that may interest you, that button is coming soon. I'm going to start looking into that this weekend. I just haven't had time. So, but that would be an option. And I just have to do everything I can for me to do this on the scale that I do. The scale that I do it on consumes me all day long, every day. So when I wake up to the moment I go to bed, which is quite late. All right. So again, thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate it. So you're saying yes. Okay, good. Yeah. So I'm going to put that subscription button out. It'll be up there soon. I'm looking at what I'd like to offer, because I'd like to offer a little bit. But understand this, the whole idea of the subscription button is just to support me for like $5 a month. For those who really, I have people who send me, $25, $50, and sometimes $100 on a monthly basis. And I can't, I rely on that. It's very important for me to do this and to move forward. As you could tell by my productions, the content, the way I put it out, the quality of the content that I put out, I put a lot of money into everything because I want it to be as professional as I can. And I can only go up from here. So my next big thing right now, and I have people in the wings, they're waiting. I'm ready to pull the plug and starting to pay people. I need to pay people. And then there's a couple other things that are going to come to, as well as ways to support MindFix TV. Okay. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, or if you message me in my messenger, if somebody needs an address too, I know a lot of people like to mail a check still. I know my mother still writes checks all the time. So I know it's going away one day, but anyways, I love you guys very, very much. I appreciate it. You can start over at the beginning of the show if you're just tuning in. I think it takes a couple of minutes for it to reboot on Rumble, if I'm not mistaken. But my shows are rewatchable. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Back to work for me. All right. Love you.